Hello, my name is Justin Parker. I never had a singular meaningful moment in this class. Instead, my meaningful moment was stretched out all across the Unit 2 assignment. This class's focus on values, very important, because adherence to our values goes a long way to creating a fulfilling life. This speech will discuss what I found to be a meaningful moment during this class. To me, the most meaningful moment came in the second assignment. The leap from interpreting my own values to interpreting the values of others was a difficult one to make, and at this point, I'm still not sure if I've nailed the landing. To begin this discussion, first, you should understand that generally, I've tried to live my life believing the best in people and taking their words at face value. This has left me unprepared for the tasks that we were required to perform. The other thing that I had working against me was that, unlike some other subjects with more rigid rules, this assignment, the act of interpreting values itself, are vaguely defined. Of course, we had our word count minimums and prompts, but our interpretations did not have to, in any way, match what the teacher or even our fellow students would believe to be true. This led me to basically feel like I was guessing. I am not a fan of guessing when it comes to a class that I'm required to complete in order to get my degree. This left me with a problem that I often have at a supermarket or a restaurant: choice overload. Choice overload is when you have so many options that making a decision gets harder to do. It's too difficult to compare all those options effectively. Suddenly, I found that I could basically say whatever I want about the author of my Unit 2 assignment with only the slightest string of evidence, or I could even have my assumptions based on completely irrelevant data. For example, if my author mentions guns, I could say that he values freedom. I don't know if that's true, but I know that most Americans I've met who care about guns care about freedom. I could also turn it 180 degrees and say he hates freedom because I know terrorists use guns and I've heard they hate freedom. Really, this is my biggest problem. I do not want to provide untrue information. This was just the tip of the iceberg, however. If I remember correctly, I had to set up 4 meetings with the teacher because this was causing me a lot of issues. I guess I was hoping the teacher would pull out a hidden paper with all the correct answers or something. Instead, we went over what I pulled from the text and generally just worked on improving the use of language. At no point was there a right answer, and a lot of the conjecture that I started with was refined and put into the final draft. There was one thing that I had really missed, and it was making each of my assumptions off of a single line of text or a paragraph. The single biggest change to my paper came from looking at the big picture. Originally, I believe the author had contradicted himself throughout the article, but the reality was that the views he provided actually did work together. Instead of being for or against a particular idea, he had nuance. This realization ended up providing the largest section of my paper. The beauty of this assignment was, though, that without being able to talk to the author himself, almost any interpretation is valid. This leads to the assignment not being about which interpretation is correct. Instead, this assignment was about putting in the effort and, of course, continual reevaluation of your interpretations. This important moment ended up showing me that you can always dig deeper. This moment was also important to me for another reason. The distress I was feeling about this assignment is what pushed me over the edge to finally start asking for help when I'm not doing well in class. It's been 7 years since I was last in school, and back then I either didn't need help or I didn't care if I failed. This intervening time has allowed me to grow wiser and to value the opportunities that I am given just a little bit more. Again, my name is Justin Parker, and this has been a look at my important moment from this class. Thank you all for listening.